Starting us off at number 10 is Zadkiel, a real archangel of freedom and mercy, but the one we're talking about today is part of the Marvel universe. Back in the earlier comics, Zadkiel used to be God's personal warrior that was extremely good at killing anything and everything. In terms of power, he possesses superhuman strength, speed, durability, he can heal quickly, he's immortal, he can fly, he can capture astral bodies, and he can manipulate you with magic. He could not give less of a shit about humanity, and during Lucifer's rebellion in heaven, he and his black host sided with the dark side. Zadkiel then snaked Lucifer, so this guy's evil truly runs deep. Like, how does man's snake Lucifer? I don't get it. As punishment for betraying God, Zadkiel was put in command of heaven's Black Ops team, and after doing a bunch of work, he was done with it and launched his own attack against heaven. He started recruiting humans, so after they died, their souls would automatically join his army. Zadkiel thought he could do a better job at ruling than God, and he actually won heaven and ruled for a while. So this dude is not to be messed with under any circumstances. Coming in at number 9 is Gabriel. In the 2010 action horror Legion, the Archangel Michael goes to Earth and ends up being the angel trying to save the human race. A waitress called Charlie is pregnant with a baby who's going to save humanity, except God doesn't want humanity to be saved. So he sends an army of angels to Earth to end the human race, and the angel in charge of the army is Gabriel. He goes on a killing spree and kills Michael, who later comes back to Earth and says that Gabriel did what God wanted, but that he himself did what God needed, and therefore Gabriel failed. I mean, God did send him down there to kill an unborn baby, surely he should have known something was wrong there. Either way, the TV show Dominion is set 25 years after the events of the movie, and in it Gabriel is still hell-bent on killing mankind. He even managed to convince all the lower angels to fight with him. So an immensely powerful archangel hell-bent on killing us all sounds a lot worse than Succubus, for example. You know? At number 8 we have Samyaza. In the Book of Enoch, this fallen angel is known as the leader of a band of other fallen angels called the Watchers. This group became possessed with their lust for human women and continued to consummate despite it being a sin. Samyaza created 2 half-human, half-giant sons and continued to corrupt his fellow angels into seducing women. His encouragement led to the offspring of these women being giants, and together with the angels they murdered, dominated, and exploited inferior races of men. And I mean, when you have angels and giants in one army, you know you're gonna lose. You may as well just give up. Surrender, it's over for you. Filling our number 7 slot are the angels of the 10th realm. Part of the Thor Marvel universe, these angels live in a place called Heaven, not actually spelled heaven, previously known as the unknown 10th realm. This realm was locked away by Odin because these angels were a right menace. They're vindictive and they're pro-killing babies. Loki actually helps Thor open up a portal to heaven so they can meet the angels. However, a battle ensues where Thor loses and Loki sides with the angels. In all the 10 realms, angels are their greatest warriors, to the point no army is a match for them. They're extremely selfish and materialistic, and think a concept like honor is just plain useless. Now at number 6 is Gabriel. What a surprise! Gabriel, why'd you have such a bad rep? Jeez, come on now. Anyway, in the 2005 occult detective film Constantine, half-breed angel Gabriel is a bit of a problem. Gabriel absolutely hates humanity with every fiber of its being and hatches a plan to unleash Satan's offspring, Mammon, onto Earth so humans can die so they can go to heaven. So I mean, it sounds like a good deed, but it most certainly is not. To claim the Earth for himself, Mammon needs help from God and a powerful psychic on his side, both of which he has, and he has the help of Gabriel, the selfish hoe. Gabriel literally tries to stab a possessed woman's belly to get Mammon out of there, and Satan eventually incinerates her wings off. You know it's bad when Satan is involved in doing the punishing. You know it's bad. Coming in at number 5 is Amenadiel. I like him personally just because he's from the DC universe and I prefer DC over Marvel. And I know everyone's just gonna be bashing their keyboards right now trying to tell me how Marvel is so much better and intricate. Believe me, I work with Chain Amanda, they're both Marvel over DC diehards. Either way, Amenadiel is a vengeful angel that spends his life getting back at Lucifer, who is now on Earth. After leaving his post as King of Hell, Lucifer went to Earth and started running a piano lounge, which did not set well with Amenadiel, who never forgave him for betraying him and God. However, Lucifer's a genius and Amenadiel's definitely, you know, more brawn than he has brains. Any move against Lucifer is thwarted quite easily, which makes Amenadiel angrier and stupider. He literally invades LA with the Throne Army and kills a bunch of people all for his ego. Come on man, do better. At number 4 are the angels from Supernatural. I honestly did not think that show could last as long as it did, but I mean kudos to them. 15 seasons, Azam Zaddy. Now the series follows two brothers who essentially hunt ghosts, demons, monsters, you name it, they hunt it. Supernatural also has a lot of angels in it, the good of which being few and far between. There's probably only like 2 angels that are relatively good on the show, Castiel and Gabriel, and even they are not saints. Gabriel literally forced Sam to watch Dean die 100 times in a pocket universe, and he's in the top tier of nice in the show. That's not nice. Most of the angels on the show have no issue killing humans. The first half of the show actually features most of the angels wanting Satan to escape from hell just so the apocalypse can happen, and that's not even because they want it, it's literally because they're bored. Other antics include Angel Zachariah removing Sam's lungs for a few minutes just to prove a point, Metatron killing a bunch of humans, and also turning angels into suicide bombers. Like, hello, calm down. Filling at number 3 slot is Gabriel. There are so many asshole versions of Gabriel, I feel bad for it. Either way, this terrible Gabriel hails from the 1995 American fantasy movie titled The Prophecy. Now to summarize, there's this sort of angel civil war going on, and Gabriel wants to overthrow the regime and be in charge. As angels, you'd think they'd all be able to sort out their differences around some heavenly circular table, I don't know. In order to win the battle, Gabriel is looking for the dark soul of Colonel Hawthorne, a Korean war veteran that committed horrible war crimes that don't even seem to affect his morality at all. Hawthorne's soul will help him overthrow the obedient angels. To put it into perspective of how bad this is, even Lucifer doesn't want Gabriel to win because he knows he'll turn heaven into a second hell. You know shit is bad when Lucifer seems like the good guy. The reason Gabriel is even doing all this is because he feels bad and guilty for betraying God. His soul is being tortured, and this is the only way he can see out of it. I mean, has he tried therapy? Are some problems beyond therapy? I don't know. Now at number 2 is Zara. Now Zara is an angel in the Spawn comic book universe that is so powerful and feared that angels and demons alike don't want to get in her way. Zara is a creation that God abandoned and now keeps imprisoned due to her immense unpredictable power. She's one of the most powerful beings in the universe, but she is utterly insane. How can that much power not go to anybody's head? Come on, you're setting her up for failure. Now Zara's unending bloodlust is what makes her simultaneously a homicidal maniac and God's most lethal weapon. He lets her out when he needs someone killed or someone to do his dirty work, and since she's immortal, nothing's that deep for her. The bloodlust within her is actually so strong it manifests in this large white bestial humanoid that can breathe white celestial fire and follow Zara's every command. So not only is she dangerous herself, she also has this ethereal beast that kills people for her. And finally, at number 1 is the unnamed angel. In the 2001 psychological horror film Frailty, Dad Meeks, the father of Fenton and Adam, gets visited by an angel who tells him that God wants him to kill demons that are disguising themselves as humans. Meeks is already a religious fanatic, and this angelic visit throws him into overdrive as he waits for the angel to give him the names so he can start killing the people one by one. He takes his 2 kids with him on these murder missions and touches the victim right before killing them because it shows him the visions of what crimes that demon has committed. Now Adam believes his dad, but Fenton doesn't, so he tries stopping him, which fails. This angel tells the dad some horrible things about Fenton that leads him to locking him up in the cellar, hoping that will make him see God. After days of being starved, he lies and says he's ready to be part of the murders, and so upon securing the next victim, the dad gives him the axe, but Fenton kills his dad instead. Then, on instruction from the angel, Adam kills the victim and then buries them both. The movie gets darker after that with a lot of twists, but this one angel literally caused a serial killer to be born.
Starting off at number 10 now, we have Saint Padre Pio. In 2002, the statue of Padre Pio was said to begin shedding tears that some people believed was actually blood. A passerby first noticed it and alerted the local priest. They were unable to wipe away this red substance leaking from the eyes of the statue. As news travelled of this suspected miracle, hundreds came to see the statue in person. This happened just a few months before the Pope made Padre Pio a saint. Some people said this was the reason for this supernatural occurrence. At number 9 now, we have Cochabamba. During Holy Week in 1995, a church in Cochabamba, Bolivia noticed that their statue of Jesus appeared to be shedding tears of blood. Believers claimed that the tears were tested in an Australian lab and found to contain real human blood. They also said the statue was totally hollow, which was proof that there was no tampering going on. According to locals, the Cochabamba Christ has wept blood every Good Friday since. At number 8 now, we have Los Naranjos. In April 2017, a video emerged online appearing to show the Virgin Mary crying tears of blood. The statue belonged to a man man in the town of Los Naranjos in Argentina. The owner of the statue said he noticed the blood in March and said that Mary had visited him in a dream. The statue was then transferred to the local church for pilgrims to visit. An investigation was launched to look for a natural explanation before it was declared as a miracle. The local priest reminded everyone though to not jump to any conclusions. At number 7 now we have Perth. In 2002, scientists in Australia failed to find the source of tears flowing from the eyes of a statue of the Virgin Mary. The statue was on display in a Catholic church in Perth. It was bought by Patty Powell from Bangkok 8 years before. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary until one day it started dripping with a rose-scented oil-like substance. Visitors came from all over Australia to see it for themselves. The priest and many others claimed it was a miracle, but scientists conducted studies to determine exactly what this liquid was. Moving on to number 6 now, we have Fresno. In May 2016, Maria Cardenas from Fresno, California said her statue of Mary had been crying. She said it all started a year and a half before when her cousin died. Apparently Maria came home one day and said the statue's eyes were welling up with a liquid. She said it was tears, others said it could have been actual blood. Maria said she doesn't really understand why the statue was doing that, but believes it could be linked to her cousin's death. Overall, she saw the crying as something good. At number 5 now we have La Madonnina. In February 95, the La Madonnina statue, or Little Madonna, was said to weep tears of blood in the town of Pantano, Italy. The statue belonged to Fabio Gregori. He said that one morning he heard his 6-year-old daughter cry out that the statue was crying blood. Over the next few days, the crying was witnessed by dozens of witnesses, both believers and not. A commission of theologians claimed it as a supernatural event. Alright, at number 4 now guys, we have Jalisco. In November 2016, a crying statue of the Virgin Mary was reported in the town of Jalisco in Mexico. A man there told TV crews that he saw blood coming out of the statue's glass eyes. This came just a few months after the preserved body of a child saint supposedly opened her eyes in the very same town. Alright, at number 3 now we have Sacramento. In 2005, it was reported that the Vietnamese Catholic Church in Sacramento had a statue of Mary that was said to cry blood. The priest washed off what he assumed were just stains, but 10 days later they reappeared. The statue is now placed outside the church for pilgrims to visit. Over the years, the rain rendered the tears as just a small smudge on the statue's face. Still, that doesn't stop people from visiting the statue even to this day. Moving on to number 2 now, we have Akita. In 1973, a convent in Akita, Japan reported a strange happening with their statue of the Virgin Mary. A nun began having holy visions of angels and showed signs of stigmata on her hands, the same wounds that Jesus received during crucifixion. Blood also poured out from the statue's palms. Over the next 2 years, the statue was said to have produced rose-scented sweat and wept tears of blood 101 times, often in front of believers and even a television audience. And finally, number 1 now, we have another statue of Mary. In August 2016, it was reported that a statue of the Virgin Mary in Bolivia had been crying blood. The local priest claimed that the Virgin Mary statue was bleeding from its eyes and hands. Samples of the substance were sent off to be tested to see if it really was human blood. Churchgoers were hoping that this would be enough for the Vatican to announce it as a miracle.
Starting us off at number 10 is the floating city. On October 7, 2015, in the city of Foshan, China, a rare mirage occurred in which a city seemed to be floating in the sky. This was literally seen by thousands of people. It wasn't just a trick of the light or someone lying about it. The footage literally looks like a city. You can see the blocks of the buildings and it looks like a skyline. The whole incident only lasted a few minutes before disappearing, but it did end up on the Chinese news. Some people believe it was due to a government project that only the elite know about and therefore it was just dismissed as some kind of reflection of some kind, whereas other people believe it's actually Fata Morgana, which basically just means a very superior form of a mirage. Don't know why they have to give it a fancy name. Either way, I don't think a whole city can somehow become a mirage for a few minutes, but I'm also no scientist, so the wildest explanation I read was that it was part of the Blue Beam project, which is a secret project developed by the US, and the point of it is to manipulate the weather and create artificial natural disasters. I don't know why they would want to fake create that. And the mirage they saw was them testing it out to see how the public would react to it. Don't know why they did it in China though, I doubt they did, but there's that too. Coming in at number 9 is the Death Cloud. Back in 2017, residents of Teixeira de Freitas in Brazil saw a menacing sight in the clouds. They dubbed it the Apocalyptic Cloud or the Death Cloud, and the videos literally looks like a red claw has emerged from hell and is reaching into the sky. The whole thing was red and it looked like it was a shadow of a meteor that was just about to hit Earth but then stopped a bit before it did. It dissipated into nothing within 5 minutes, but residents residents were truly terrified. Someone thought the world was ending, another thought it was going to form a tornado, whereas some people saw it as the work of God and called it perfection. It really is a mixed bag of reactions really. Perfection on one hand, death cloud on the other, whatever you want really. At number 8 we have the Black Ring. Back in 2015 in Kazakhstan, a video was uploaded by someone living in the village of Short Andy, I don't know, the pronunciation wasn't on Google, don't come for me. They captured what appeared to be a giant black smoke ring in the sky that floated there for 15 minutes and then disappeared as smoke usually tends to do. Now this sort of sight has been seen thrice before, once in Leamington but that was due to a fireworks test, another time in Florida but that was due to a pyrotechnic test, and another one in Chicago due to an electrical transformer blowing up. Nice. Either way, after investigation, nothing seemed to have happened to have caused the ring. No fire-related activity, no blown-up transformer, nothing. People were speculating whether it was the work of witchcraft or perhaps the portal to hell. Filling our number 7 slot is the Phoenix Light. Back in 2017, a Phoenix City camera as well as thousands of other cameras owned by normal people caught sight of something incredible. The whitish bluish fireball can be seen appearing out of nowhere in the sky and hurtling towards Earth as it gets bigger and brighter and then disappears altogether like it was never even there. Now most people speculated it was a meteor, but many remained unconvinced and looked towards the extraterrestrial as a possible explanation. What do you guys think? Now at number 6 is the Face Cloud. This one happened in 2011 in a place called Grand Falls, which is in New Brunswick, Canada. Dennis LaForge was watering his plants when he looked at the sky and took out his iPhone. The clouds in the video are moving extremely quickly, well quicker than the average cloud would move, and the cloud formation then starts forming a giant face. I kid you not, a giant face. The face gets more detailed as it moves forward, and it almost seems like the face is the thing propelling the cloud forward. The space for eye sockets is visible, a nose, lips, a chin. It's so detailed it's not even funny. People dubbed it the face of God gliding across the sky. The only explanation George Isaac had, who is a senior cloud scientist, was that clouds come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. Thank you, George, for that insightful commentary. Even I could have said that, and I'm not a senior cloud scientist. Coming in at number 5 is the UFO cloud. This one was uploaded by YouTube user UFOVNI, who is a Philadelphia resident. Now we've seen weirdly shaped clouds before, it's definitely not uncommon, but some people believe that UFOs sometimes hide in the clouds to avoid being detected, whereas others go a step further and believe that UFOs can disguise themselves as clouds. I mean, never say never, right? So in this video there seems to be a random small cloud in the sky, but then as you continue watching, the cloud starts moving and shifting in a really weird way. The cloud seems like it's reflective of light and transparent, and it's moving through the sky with a purpose and a lot quicker than a normal cloud. It's even moving faster than the clouds directly around it. The cloud also had different lights in it, and the user went on to narrate he had never seen anything like that in his life, and after watching the video, neither have I. At number 4 is the cloud wave. Back in 2010 on a beach in Helsinki, Finland, people were enjoying their Sunday off at the beach when they suddenly saw a massive dark dramatic cloud coming right towards them. Now they initially thought it was a storm cloud, so no real panic had ensued at that point, and I don't even believe it's a storm cloud to be honest, because I've never seen one so vast and dark and low in the sky. Beachgoers said they felt it was so low they could actually touch it. In the video it literally looks like the cloud will devour anything in its path, like it's the doomsday cloud. I'm not even kidding you. Birds literally flew out of the way of this cloud because it was that ominous. No explanation given, just a bunch of terrified tanned Finnish people. Filling our number 3 slot is the yellow flash. In November of 2013, over the city of Sverdlovsk in Russia, a giant flash happened in the sky. Now mind you, this was at night, so the sky was pitch black 1 second, and then all of a sudden it went red, then orange, then yellow, and then it expanded and took over more of the sky as it changed color. It lasted mere seconds, but it was unmistakable, and there were no military bases near the area, so explanations involving that or disposing of explosives was ruled out. The next explanation was that perhaps it was a bolide linked to the peak of the Leonids meteor shower, but lights from meteors are usually blue or green or white because of their temperature, so that wasn't it either. Either way, no one knows where the flash came from, but it came and went, and everyone's just gonna pretend like it never even happened. That's brilliant. Let's just continue doing that. Now at number 2 are the fireballs. This one was seen in Canada, and I'm actually speechless over what it could possibly be. It looks like some sort of CGI stuff or some effect of some kind, but it's 100% real. In the sky there seemed to be two flaming balls that had constant streams of white smoke coming out the top of them. But that wasn't even the weirdest part. There seemed to be a line connecting the two fireballs, but it wasn't a line, it looked like an electricity link of some kind. It was a straight white line with electrical current seemingly coming off of it. They moved straight across the sky on the trajectory of this line, and no one had any explanation whatsoever on what it was, how it got there, or that energy line connecting them both. And finally, at number 1 are the dancing lights. This one genuinely freaked me out when I watched the footage, I'm not even gonna lie. This one took place in Greenwood, Indiana, and Quaid M13 uploaded quite an HD video of it onto YouTube. Now in the video, the sun itself is behind some clouds that you can see very clearly, but on the left of it there's a stream of yellow light that comes and goes and dances in different directions. It's the exact same color and brightness as the sun's light, and honestly just imagine someone trapped a sun ray in a flashlight and then they were just doing this in clouds. That's exactly what it looked like. The video goes on for 2.5 minutes, and the only explanation people have offered is that perhaps it was a crown flash. And crown flash is due to ice crystals in a cirrus cloud merging with the electrical field of a rising cumulus cloud. I never knew I'd know so much about clouds, but now I do. While the field changes, the crystals snap and move, reflecting sunlight in different ways, hence we saw them dancing. Now some people fully believe that this explanation is the right one, and others say that there's no way that that was that. You guys choose whichever explanation you like.